The BMW X1 is a subcompact or extra small crossover that serves as the entry-level model for BMW's SUV lineup. It's somewhat distinct because of its front-wheel drive layout, with all-wheel drive optional. This is because the X1 historically shares a platform with the Mini Countryman. For 2023, we could see several changes. For its 2023 model, the X1 could be completely redesigned, bringing a new look and feel. We would expect styling to more closely align with trend-setting BMW models like the 5 Series sedan and X5 SUV. But the bigger changes will likely come on the inside. A redesigned X1 should create more space for passengers, most likely by growing in overall length. This will not only allow for more legroom and improved ride comfort, one of our biggest complaints about the current X1, if the wheelbase increases with it, but should open the door for a fully electric version of the X1 to debut down the line. After all, batteries and electric motors need space. It also stands to reason that when a redesigned X1 materializes, it will improve upon its technology features. The current model comes with an 8.8 inches center screen, and we would be surprised if it doesn't grow to 10 inches and welcome a new digital information display ahead of the driver too. Expect to see the latest version of iDrive, the operating software, replace the outdated version currently on board. BMW would also be wise to include integration for Android Auto, which has not been the case for the X1 thus far. Other than that, we'd expect both front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive versions to return, along with a slight bump in power over the 228 horsepower 4-cylinder engine in current models. It also seems likely based on spy shots that a performance model called the M35i will surface down the line. Interior. The 2023 model is slightly longer, taller, and wider than the outgoing 2022 X1, so we expect only minor increases in passenger space as the previous model was already roomy for its size. The interior design is more modern this time around with a toggle switch shift lever, a floating center console, an all-digital dashboard, and designer elements such as textured speaker grills. All models come with dual-zone automatic climate control, ambient interior lighting, and a power liftgate. A panoramic sunroof is part of the optional convenience package, while heated front seats and a heated steering wheel are standalone options. BMW's latest interior design ethos is also on full display in the new X1. There's singular glass enclosure for the 10.25 inches digital instrument cluster and 10.7 inches touchscreen, with the latter angled toward the driver. The center stack is also cleaned up, so there aren't several tiers of climate controls and preset buttons. Instead, these functions are all contained within menus and submenus of the infotainment system. Also of note is that there's no longer an iDrive controller knob. This has been a BMW infotainment staple for more than 20 years, but its removal in the new X1 means you have to use the touchscreen or voice controls to access the system's features and settings. The BMW X1 is available with loads of new tech. The X1 now finally supports wireless Android Auto smartphone connectivity. It joins wireless Apple CarPlay functionality on the standard features list. The newly standard blind spot warning system adds a safe exit feature that sounds an alert if you're about to open your door into approaching traffic. Other highlights include an augmented reality display for the navigation system, new video recording capability for crashes and theft, and hands-free driving capability during certain situations. The 2023 BMW X1 is a technological tour de force, and its interior design isn't vastly different from what more expensive models in the range offer. If you want a BMW with all the features of the big dogs but have a more modest budget, the X1 might be the SUV for you. The X1 shares plenty with the 2 Series Active Tourer, and the interior is the most obvious example of that. The overall design is fairly simple, centered around a curved display that covers about half the dashboard, along with a floating center console that houses the toggle-style drive selector and a few buttons and switches. Between the two is a vertical wireless charging pad with a clamp to hold your phone in place, but apart from the steering wheel and a few air vents, that's pretty much it. Naturally, attention is immediately drawn to the curved display, which is split into 2 halves. Behind the steering wheel is a digital instrument cluster that's easily configurable and can show drivers exactly what they need to see in the way they want to see it. The sharp display and modern, readable graphics make it more user-friendly than anything else on the market. The same goes for the touchscreen infotainment system that makes up the other half of the seamless display. Like the instruments, it's sharp and modern, with configurable menus and logical placement of icons and displays. It's a pity BMW didn't include the iDrive rotary controller you get in the new 3 Series, which would have allowed drivers to navigate the screens without having to look away from the road so much, but that's a small criticism. Overall, the screen is much better than those seen in most competitor products, and that's a good thing because it has much more responsibility. With the arrival of the new infotainment system, BMW has removed almost all the buttons from the dashboard, shuffling most of the controls into the touchscreen. That includes operation of the air conditioning, which is now done by using a little taskbar at the bottom of the display. The controls are always there, which instantly makes the BMW system better than some of its rivals, but it's still more fiddly than having an array of physical switches on the dash. And it isn't like BMW can't make a good switch. To that end, the Zone S cabin is incredibly well built, with top-end materials and fastidious engineering on display all around. Every aspect feels premium and classy, as well as being robust enough to last the lifetime of the car. Technology. The BMW X1 gets a major technology update for 2023. As standard equipment, it receives the BMW Curve display, which consists of a digital instrument cluster and central infotainment screen combined into one large unit extending across the dashboard. The instrument cluster measures 10.3 inches, while the infotainment screen is an also impressive 10.7 inches. The infotainment runs on BMW's latest generation software with an enhanced voice-activated personal assistant. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard, and a head-up display is optional. A few other unexpected tech treasures are on tap. A light show greets drivers as they approach the vehicle, and a new overhead interior camera allows drivers to check if they've left anything inside the vehicle. Augmented reality navigation shows a video on the car's display along with animated arrows integrated into the image to help drivers know exactly where to turn. Infotainment and connectivity has integrated its latest iDrive 8 infotainment system into its smallest SUV. Like the larger iX electric SUV and the flagship 7 Series sedan, the Zone S digital dashboard is a crisp-looking single panel that serves as both a gauge display and an infotainment screen. Navigation is standard, as are Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. SiriusXM satellite radio is also offered on all models. A wireless smartphone charging pad is part of the optional convenience package, and the premium package adds a head-up display, a Harman Kardon stereo system, and a 360-degree exterior camera system. Like the outgoing model, the 2023 X1 is powered by a turbocharged 2.0-liter four-cylinder engine, but the new model boasts 241 horsepower, 13 more than before. All-wheel drive is standard this time around, and the X1 also receives a new 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. BMW claims this refreshed powertrain gives the X1 enough pep to hit 60 miles per hour in 6.2 seconds. BMW also says that the Zone S suspension has been redesigned to improve handling and stability. An optional M Sport package, don't get this confused with an M model, which may come later, adds performance-enhancing features such as an adaptive suspension system and steering wheel-mounted shift paddles. The M Sport package also adds more aggressively bolstered seats, a unique steering wheel, and several sporty-looking exterior tweaks. When we get a chance to test the new X1, we'll update this story with test results. We expect improved performance on the 2023 BMW X1. Output from the 2.0-liter turbocharged four-cylinder engine has increased to 241 horsepower and 295 pounds-ft of torque, up from 228 horsepower and 258 pounds-ft on the previous gen model. BMW estimates a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 6.2 seconds. A 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission replaces the old X1's 8-speed automatic. We'll have to test it out for ourselves, but BMW says the new transmission provides smooth, quick gear changes, and it optimizes shifts to route topography. FWD is no longer available. Every BMW X1 now comes standard with AUD. In the past, we've complained about the X1's brittle suspension when equipped with the M Sport package. An adaptive M suspension for the M Sport package for 2023 could address this issue by improving ride quality while promoting sporty driving. Driving BMW X1. The BMW X1 has always been the best car in its class when it comes to handling, and the new model is no different. There are compromises, thanks in part to the vehicle's height, but the X1 manages to feel engaging and entertaining while also being stable and secure, and it accomplishes all that without a back-breaking ride. Sure, it isn't the most comfortable thing on four wheels, but it feels very grown-up in the way it rides. Even an M Sport trim, which brings with it sportier suspension and 19 inches alloy wheels, the X1 manages to smooth over most bumps. You can still feel them passing under the wheels, but they aren't too sharp or jarring. It never gets uncomfortable. And it still corners as well as most hot hatchbacks. Even the basic front-wheel drive versions feel nimble and agile in a way that belies the Zone S size. This car shouldn't be fun to drive, but the precise steering, plentiful grip, and impressive body control all ensure it's an enjoyable thing to steer. And it does the business when you want to be less infantile, too, with good visibility for driving around town and refined engines that make long distances less tiring and stressful than they otherwise might be. Safety. All Zone S come standard with basic driver assistance features such as automated emergency braking and parking sensors, but more advanced tech is optional, including a self-parking feature and adaptive cruise control with lane centering.